Well, taking a look outside to the west with our time-lapse today, you can see those fair weather cumulus clouds really setting up, but plenty of sunshine for us across the Concho Valley. Didn't get too hot at that, only topping out at 89 degrees for the official daytime high over at Mathis Field. Of course, a great sunset thanks to that cloud cover off towards the north and west. And now that we're at the 10 p.m. we're starting to cool off pretty nicely. 78 here in town, 77 for both Sterling City and Mertz, and 76 going to be that cool spot off towards the east in Brady and down towards I-10, 82 in Sonora, 83 in Ozona. So about a good 6 to 7 degrees across the Concho Valley right now. And those dew points following a pretty similar trend from about 59 over in Ozona, way up here in San Angelo from earlier, 69 degrees, 71 over there in Junction, 72 in Eden. So relative humidity indices on the rise from the 60s to the 80s right now. Going to be a pretty muggy night at that. And when we're looking at the upper level pattern, going to be on the warm up, this upper level trough with all that weather shifting off towards the east. Upper level ridge going to be building in its place. You can see that high pressure really setting up over the four corners before it shifts more off towards the west, and you can see that next trough trying to work in, but doesn't look like it's going to make it far enough south for us to see too much weather here in the Concho Valley. So going to be pretty warm as we head into the next week of June as well. Tonight's severe weather outlook really targeting areas from Nebraska into South Dakota, that level 1 out of 5 risk, stretching all the way down just into the western side of the Panhandle, but most of the Lone Star State in the clear for tonight. Just that general thunderstorm chance really across the Panhandle and the Gulf Coast at that. Tomorrow is when the Concho Valley starts to get included in it with that level 1 out of 5 risk coming into Sterling and Coke County, that level 2 out of 5 risk further up closer north of Amarillo into the Panhandle and also the Panhandle of Oklahoma at that. So for the high-res radar out there, you can see most of the storm activity has shifted off towards the east a little bit there in the Big Bend with that shower activity. Then towards South Texas, the Rio Grande Valley also starting to dissipate there towards Brownsville, but across the Concho Valley, nothing too much, just that cloud cover barely starting to work in towards Crockett County, and we could see it pretty far on that time lapse off towards the west and our live look earlier. But as we go into the overnight hours, going to be holding on to those clear skies. Let's talk about our rain situation right now here in the Concho Valley. So far we've seen just over 12¼ inches of rain. For the total in the year, we're going to be looking at just under 21 inches. So hopefully by the time we're heading towards December 31st, we start to see that fill up towards that 21-inch mark. We'll see exactly how much we get by that time. But as we're here into June, so far we're only really supposed to see about 9.15 inches of rain, which means since we've seen that 12, we're over 3 inches in terms of surplus rain so far that we're seeing. But 7-day forecast not looking quite as nice in terms of rainfall, so hopefully we hold on to that surplus as we go through June and July. For the futurecast, my eyes are mainly going to be off towards the west going into the morning, maybe a stray sprinkle or two towards Crockett County, but then some storms forming off towards the west. I have switched this to the HRRR model. This one's going to be a little bit more aggressive than the graph we were looking at earlier. Maybe those storms hold on to their strength, at least this HRRR seems to think so, 3 to 4 a.m., maybe working into the Concho Valley, so hopefully a good dose of rain for us. But like I said, the graph didn't really have anything, so we're going to see which one wins out. Then as we're going into Saturday, nothing too bad out there, and even for Father's Day as well. So for tonight, under the clear skies, looking at about 69 degrees here at Mathis Field, southeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow holds pretty true out of the south, 10 to 15 miles an hour, warming up towards 95 degrees. So make sure to stay cool and hydrate as we go into tomorrow. And as we work through Father's Day weekend, looking just great for it to take advantage, maybe wear that sunscreen since it's going to have just so much sunshine across the Concho Valley. Maybe a stray shower or two, but a big if at that. And as we work into next week, maybe topping out around the 100-degree mark heading into Tuesday and Wednesday with overnight lows really holding in those mid to lower 70s. That's all for your 7-day forecast, but stick around for more KSAN news right after this.